It's at this point that each dungeon could be technically done in any order. I say technically because after the first 3, you'll be bashing your freaking face into the controller trying to figure out where the other 2 are. I'll go over each dungeon briefly. As I stated earlier, they're all practically the same, but with a different element, and each one's a clusterfuck of a maze. Look at this! Look at this! The first stone I went for was a Thunderstone in White Snow. Every RPG needs an obligatory Christmas town. What the hell? Actually, there are a lot of fourth wall breaking jokes in this game. They're kinda everywhere. But hey, this game might not be Shakespeare. Hell, I wouldn't even call it a Christopher Marlowe. But this is the only one that gets under my skin and raises my middle finger to a giant fuck you to Nippon Ichi. It's like saying, translating's too hard, so let's just make stuff up. It's lazy thinking like this that creates such bad dubbing in the first place. This was largely practiced in the 90s, with some of the worst offenders that I know being Magic Knight Rayer for the Sega Saturn and Castle of Shikigami for PlayStation 2. If you want to see some awful dubbing, just look at Working Design's early games. The shining glimmer of hope in the first 3 dungeons is the Marjorie family and the different ways that they pursue you. Some of them, like Claudia here, even seem to be on your side, or at least admit that Marjorie has no chance with the prince. Each boss you come across follows the same themes of life, love, and death. In the Christmas town, the Thunderstone was guarded by the Ninetales that live there. Cornet can climb up the mountain and take it, but doing so would kill them. This is the first and only real decision that Cornet and the player can make. If you choose to take it, Claudia will be furious and let Cornet keep the stone to remind her of the blood on her hands, and the entire town will disown you. If you refuse, Cornet will declare that her happiness means nothing if it costs others their own lives. The Guardians are so moved by her kindness and understanding that they create the Heartstone to be used as a replacement. I should also note that in the DS version, if you decide not to kill the cute little critter, you won't have him add to your bestiary. So, you completionists out there? That little Pokemon's gotta go. The second stone can be found at the top of the volcano in our generic desert city. I know I could tell you what each city is called, but let's face it, you don't care and neither do I. I just want another musical number. It's been hours, and the best thing I got was some stupid Fox chant. Oh, what? I forgot to tell you about that? It's because it doesn't matter. In this town, the citizens are being harassed by dragons, so you agree to go up and check it out. After all, we were heading that way anyway, so we may as well. We come across a cute and cuddly dragon and slaughter it! Claudia is furious. She calls Cornet and Karuru murderers and informs them that the reason that dragons have been so aggressive is that they were protecting their recently laid egg. Not only that, but by acting so rashly and not allowing Claudia to handle the dragon herself, the seal they protected has weakened, the volcano begins to erupt. Claudia has always come off to me as the moral center of the family and quite possibly the wisest of the 4, with her line to Cornet that ignorance is a very dangerous thing. I always thought that she could possibly be the leader, but she has a bit of a vain streak in her that holds her back, making her quick to anger. So we reach the peak of the mountain, only to find that it's too late. The dumbass villagers have killed the second dragon. With nothing protecting them now, the volcano erupts. And this is where I would like to tell you that they all died horrible and painful deaths, but no. That doesn't happen at all. No one dies but the dragons. So, not really sure what they were protecting there. But hey, we get a stone out of it, and my second favorite puppet, Flare. In the third town, simply called Oasis, real clever there, guys, we find that this time a Toil is ahead of us and has locked herself in the mines that her family owns in search for the Windstone. Okay, so I need to find the key. Sir Rosenqueen should have it. I bet he's in the castle. Huh, okay, maybe not. Well, he and a Toil live in Mothergreen, so he's probably around there. Okay, not here either. Oh, he could be visiting Orange Village. No? Maybe he's hiding somewhere in the Oasis. I just missed him. What the fuck? Where the fuck is this guy? I end up going to every single town like a freaking dumbass until I finally gave up and looked up a guide. This was after like another hour's worth of searching. How many times is that now that I've gotten lost? 3? And trust me, this will not be the last. But do you really want to know where that key was? Really? It was back in that restaurant up at Wonder Woods. Yeah, and it wasn't with Sir Rosenqueen. It was with some little pipsqueak who was supposed to give it to him. How the fuck was I supposed to know that? You know, for all this talking to people that this game wants me to do, this was the one thing that it didn't hint at all. So I saved the little fucker and ripped the key from his stupid little hands, and he just disappears. I don't know where he went. Even the fucking puppet in the room doesn't know. Why? What? Was he a ghost? No, he couldn't have been. He was his family's grandson. You know what? Who the fuck cares? I got the key. Let's go into the mine. Oh, fucking great. Another maze that looks like everything else. Huh. That was different. About time. So you and a ton of other people from town have been eaten by this giant worm. You're the only one that really seems to mind, as he's somehow still leaving people have grown used to their new life. Even a Toil's in here, and as always, a stupid bitch doesn't want to help you. That is, until we get a new musical number about courage. This is the first musical number that we've had in hours, and the fox chant earlier doesn't count. How does it stack up? It's boring and awful. You know in all those crappy kids movies where the character is scared and sings a song or has a song sung to them about having courage? And it's always half-assed and thrown in the middle? Yeah, that's this song. I guess Nippon Ichi decided they didn't have enough songs and wanted to throw one more in. I would have liked if they just left this one out. Oh, fuck me. And it even ends with a Toil doing the troped up courage line. Well, after tormenting a Toil with a half-baked song, it's finally time to do something different in this game. This isn't really a dungeon as much as a type of battle. The worm has 3 hearts and we have to destroy the left and the right heart at the same time, so we agreed to do it on the 6th turn. For me, that meant defending for 5 turns and just wailing on him for the 6th. It's really not that hard, but it's nice to see something different after 2 incredibly boring dungeons. Alright, so I defeated 3 hearts, saved the people, and oh goddammit! After all that, there's still a dungeon? There's not even anything in here except for this shit ton of Inodium. For some reason, if I refuse to take any, I get the Windstone. I guess I passed its greed test or something. I don't know or care. There's 3 down, 2 to go. This time I need to head back to Blue Cat, where I'm told about a ship that went down 5 years ago and a new one that was constructed to look just like it. But I can't get on the ship until I promise Lady Karen that I'll bring back some gift from her friend's deceased boyfriend that was supposedly on the ship. Wow. Really? It's been 5 years and you just now thought to do this? What have you been doing, sitting in this restaurant for the past 5 years? And why don't you do it? You're the leader of this gang. Why isn't some unknown little girl that has nothing to do with your gang and could possibly report you to the authorities? Why do I even bother? I make it on the pirate ship and... What is this? I made better ships in RPG Maker when I was 15. Look at this shit. That's a professional ship right there. I never feel like I'm in any kind of dungeon, mountain, or shop in this game. Every location except for the towns just feels like a giant copy and paste map. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, come on! What the hell? I guess the DS version wasn't the only one with bugs. No, that is not a Toil. But, this is. And this. And this. And practically every other house in the entire kingdom, and this one that looks like Mio for some reason. But that right there, no. That is not a Toil. Cornet, I think you need glasses. So the first thing I do besides look at identical bikini posters is, of course, read through Takroff's diary. I mean, wouldn't you? Takroff is tormented by the memories of his friend Libany, who drowned when the ship went down. According to his diary, he's been beating himself up for a long time. Libany also happens to be the captain's son, and the crew tells me he doesn't let Takroff live down the fact that he failed to save him. Damn. This is some pretty heavy stuff, and once again deals with the overarching theme of this game of death, life, love, and of course, regrets. After some searching, I found them arguing, the 2 men obviously grieving. Just as we make our way to the old crash site, Libany's ghost appears. He doesn't say anything, and the next moment we're suddenly in a very breathable sunken ship. So I find the ring for Lady Karen and make my way back to the captain's quarter, where the ghost of Libany appears again. The captain begs for him to exact his revenge on Takroff when suddenly... the painting behind him comes to life and attacks us. Sure, why not? He asks for his father and friend to let go and move on with their lives before finally moving on to the afterlife. Despite this being a very somber scene, there's something about it that nearly ruins the entire thing, and it's something I haven't touched upon until this point. As weird as this may sound in a game that's supposed to be a musical, it's the music. Other than Mother Green, every town uses the same slow track. While it is a nice song for, say, a little place like Orange Village, hearing it over and over again takes me out of the experience and makes each place feel generic and bland. Why not a more Christmassy track for White Snow, or something island-like for Oasis? The worst offender is the dungeon music, a boring, repetitive track that places in each and every dungeon in the entire game. And like with every other event such as the contest earlier, the map's music plays during cutscenes. So all throughout the Marl contest, the Mother Green music played, and throughout this entire supposedly heart-wrenching scene, the upbeat, adventurous ship music played, taking me right out of the events unfolding around me. I can understand if Nippon Ichi was a small team with little time, but come on, if you guys had the time to think up and record all these songs, surely you could put in just a few more tracks like some kind of generic sad music for events such as this. The other problem I had with these generic no-name characters is that, well, just that. No thought was really given into their spriting, using just the same background sprites for everyone else except for the captain here. A lot of times I actually can't even tell who's talking because they don't even have character profile pictures. This was changed in the DS version, which helps a little bit, but I can't help but feel nothing for a character I've seen in the background everywhere else 20 times. Well, I got the Water Stone and give back the ring to generic girl number 21, and it's time to head for the final stone's location in Kirokiro, a lonely island with a robust population of, frogs. Well, that's different. Strangely enough, with Cornette's intense rhonitophobia, she doesn't seem to mind talking to all these frogs. Racist. The frogs are being terrorized by a group of amphibian-eating fish called Boo Boo and Bebe. Cornette and Karoo make short work of them and are invited to the castle for a feast in their honor. What proceeds next is an amusing scene with Cornette and Karoo being forced to eat frog-centric food in a short song sung by the servants. Everything seems to be going well until the guards drag a blue frog into the main hall. Apparently he was caught breaking into the castle, an offense punishable by death. Caroline, the king's daughter, pleads with her father, proclaiming her love for him. Her father acts as any douchey Shakespearean dad does and refuses to hear any of it, only yielding to the persistence of his wife.
Gee, I wonder what Shakespearean play they're doing.
He finally agrees to allow Caroline to marry Michael, but only if he can retrieve the Earthstone in an apparent suicidal mission. So of course Cornette agrees to help him. Blah blah, another inspired maze, get the stone, head back to the castle. Alright, so I give the stone to the king and everything is great. What the fuck? No! Just no! Don't you give me anything about that bullshit and laws and killing the centaur. I don't give a shit! You put him up to that to begin with!
This, believe it or not, actually genuinely surprised me when I first played Rhapsody. Throughout the game, the characters around Cornette have all had to face difficult choices.
There was a little boy in the Christmas town who needed the Thunderstone to save his mother's life, and the villages in the desert who feared the dragons. But this? This is nothing but pure malice! I know this is supposed to be a take on Romeo and Juliet, but this is not Romeo and Juliet. In the play, there was real anger between the families. There was murder and bad situation after bad situation, ultimately leaving the horrible misunderstanding that cost the star-crossed lovers their lives. Even after all the events, the families realized the error of their ways and reconciled. But this? This bastard learns nothing! He feels nothing! He expects you to even feel sorry for him! No! Fuck you! As you probably guessed, Caroline killed herself, and you can find their graves in the ice mountain I mentioned earlier. They agree to join you, and if you complete their quest, the two are reincarnated, hopefully reunited under better circumstances. Well, we've got the last stone, and now it's time to head back to the Tower of Wisdom. Meow is there waiting for me. Time to send her flying Team Rocket style.
Yes. I do believe I've reached my Pokemon reference quota for the day.
Oh shit, what? She actually kicked my ass! What is this, what?
We're starting to get to the reason why I chose this game. Under all its silliness and cheapness, the game tells a very important story. One that I think is often ignored in kids' video games or fairy tales, be them towards boy or girls. Throughout Cornette's journey, she's come across characters that are each experiencing loss in their own way. But it's not loss or grief that I want to focus on. The important lesson that this game taught me when I first put that disc in all those years ago is how to move on with life with my own 2 feet.
Karoo passes out shortly afterward, and Polinsky decides it's finally time for her to remember what happened all those years ago. Cornette wakes up years into the past, and she She speaks with her past self in little toil before making her way to the church where her mother works.
Sherry's version of Let's Go On is quite possibly one of the best songs in the entire game, and it's a great response to Cornette's version. Unfortunately though, it's cut short, but Sherry reveals that this was a song originally sung to the ancients, and it's one that she sings to her own daughter.
This is something else I've been ignoring throughout this review, but now is the perfect time to bring it up. By talking to everyone in the game, the ancients get brought up a number of times. Evidently, they were a race that came before humans, winged beings with incredible technology. It was this technology that was used to bring the wars to an end all those years ago, and the goddess that everyone worships appears to be a very important ancient from long ago. Their conversation is cut short as another earthquake hits Orange Village. Apparently this has been happening frequently and none feel very natural. Sherry goes to look for Cornette. After talking to Little Etoile, it seems that she went down to the underground path. In that room that I was so sure would never come back again. Sherry and Cornette find young Cornette in a room with a large weapon. Everyone breathes a sigh of relief, but unfortunately the weapon isn't dead and starts to attack. It's with this that Cornette finally remembers what happened all those years ago.
I was a very lonely kid growing up. I had a terrible home life full of a lot of anger and a lot of abuse. My only happiness was in my rabbit Buster, who I had gotten when I was 5 years old. I became who I am today because of him. And when he died in 2001, I honestly thought that I would too. I've never been a religious person, no real strong beliefs or really anything. But when he died, I so badly believed that there must be something out there. I couldn't bear the thought of going on without him. So I would make up stories about how he was my spirit animal, or he would be in objects, or really just anything like that to keep me from losing my mind. This scene really affected me when I first played it, when I was about 15 years old. This entire scene, this is what I wanted. I wanted so desperately to be true, to be possible, to have him with me forever. Now that I'm an adult, I identify as an atheist, and I don't want to hear any garbage in the comments or anything. I just want you to listen to me. When Miles passed away, I spent my days lying in bed, just hoping, just wishing that I was wrong and that he was out there somewhere, and just wanting all of this to be real. But I couldn't turn my head away from reality. And the reality is that life is harsh. And life is not always fair. But there's no angels, there's no puppets, there's nothing. I had to face the fact that Miles was gone. He had an amazing life. I gave him the best life I possibly could. But I had to move on. Just like so many of the characters in this game, I had to move on and love someone else and let someone else love me and continue to try to be happy until my own life eventually will come to an end, and the people who loved me will have to eventually move on. This overarching story, this entire thing, this is why I chose the game. Not because it's a very good one. It's not even a great game, or even it's an okay game. But I chose it because of how it affected me in a time that I really needed closure.
Smile so lovely and bright, makes the world seem right. At times you connect like such a little girl, but in my eyes you are the world. I wish you health and happiness for all time, and may the world be kind. Whenever you are feeling down, whenever you are feeling blue, all you have to do is sing this song. Remember, I'll be watching over you.
Cornette wakes up and leaves Karu behind to rest. She makes her way to Cape Hope. She places each stone on the altar and finally makes her way to the castle. Marjorie knows you're coming, and it's finally revealed that Galonzo has been working for her this entire time, though he doesn't seem to be thought of very highly among them. The maze is thankfully short this time and with different music, and it doesn't take me long to get to her. The entire family is incredibly easy. It almost feels like they didn't bother to mess with their stats after the last time I fought them. Marjorie doesn't want to give up, but all of them are interrupted by Galonzo, who finally appears with the same ancient weapon that killed Sherry. He's apparently been working on them for years, waiting for the opportune moment to kill the prince and take over the kingdom. Marjorie just laughs at this pathetic minister and easily takes down the weapon. Where the hell was his power when she fought me? Oh, well, never mind what I said about power. I guess I'll just have to finish this off. It's only fitting. I beat it once in my dream. It's time to do it for real. This is probably the first and only really hard battle in the entire game. The weapon has 2 forms and 3 puppets by its side, clones of the same puppets I found on my journey made by my own grandfather during the war. The clone puppets are easy to take down, but the weapon takes some time and even manages to get my health pretty low, at least enough to make me keep an eye on it. I finally defeat it with a toil and Karu by my side, and Galonzo is taken away by the Marjorie family, each one conceding and perhaps gaining a bit of respect for Cornette. This is it. I'm finally left alone to kiss my prince and make things right. But after doing so, Cornette walks away. She's realized how much she's done and experienced on this journey, some of her decisions being questionable. That's especially true if you decide to kill the Ninetales. She begins to have self-doubts and questions if she's even worthy of having happiness, but Ferdinand will have none of it, asking if she can bear to make one more person unhappy by walking away. He tells an all-true line that everyone, even the best of people, do something that they later regret, and those things should not keep us from trying to move on and live happy lives.
Go to him, Cornette. Don't be an idiot, just do it! I'm okay. I'm okay.
But, despite our happy ending, the game is not quite over.
This was probably the hardest scene for me when I first played. Letting go is so much harder than it actually sounds. Even when we think we're ready, even when we have dealt with the most impossible odds, no one is really ready to let go of the ones that we love. I truly felt Cornette's pain here. That begging, pleading voice in your mind, asking her to stay. But life is full of hardships and happiness. People come and go in our lives. That is inevitable. Karura had to go. Karura had to go, as did Miles, and that's okay. And as the theme goes, let's go on.
Thank you, my love. I thank you from my heart. You filled my life with melody and song. You are the one I tell my story to. It's just begun. Our love will last forever. We'll share our lives as one. We have shared the laughter and tears through all of the years. We will say goodbye just for now, till we meet again. Thank you, my love. Thank you over and over. It warms my heart just to say it again. Thank you, my dear. It's so hard just to say goodbye, but I will do it with a tear and a smile. Thank you, my love, with all of my heart. You gave to me a reason to believe. Lessons learned you have taught me through time, and they will stay inside my mind. Thank you, my love. Thank you over and over. It warms my heart just to say it again. Thank you, my dear. It's so hard just to say goodbye, but I will do it with a tear and a smile.
Well, hello there. Where did you come from? Are you lost, little guy? Hey, it's okay. I got you. Don't worry. Shh, it's okay. Don't be scared of anymore. I got you. I got you. It's alright. I'll take care of you.